This is your second stimulus check update and your stimulus package update as of Friday, July 31st. There is a new proposal for your second stimulus check. This new proposal would give you a $1,000 stimulus check and $1,000 per each child and or dependent. The Senate, yesterday, they tried to extend the unemployment benefits. That failed miserably. The Republicans and the Democrats, the negotiations between those two parties, they're actually worsening. We'll get into those details. The good news for COVID-19 is that the cases are plateauing. This is your news for today, and happy Friday. 4 Republican senators introduced a bill on Thursday that would give a second stimulus check for $1,000 plus $1,000 per child and or dependents. This is different from the HEALS Act, which would give you a $1,200 second stimulus check plus $500 per child and or dependent. And this is different from the HEROES Act, which would give you $1,200 for your second stimulus check plus $1,200 for each child and or dependent. None of these are final. None of these are decided upon, so we'll see which one of these 3 options make it into the final stimulus package. Federal unemployment benefits, they technically expired today, but in reality, they expired last weekend. Republican senators, they tried to pass a bill yesterday that would extend the unemployment benefits by 2/3 of what a person was making at their job, capped off at $500 a week, but the Democrats, they blocked this bill. It was the leader of the Democrats in the Senate, Charles Schumer, that blocked the Republican bill. Schumer said that the state systems would not be able to implement this method quickly enough and that this would cause more people to go into poverty. Then Schumer, he tried to pass his own bill to extend unemployment benefits that would give $600 a week, which was blocked by Republican Senator Ron Johnson. So the Republicans, they tried to pass a bill to extend unemployment benefits. It was blocked by the Democrats. Then the Democrats, they tried to pass their own bill to extend unemployment benefits, and it was blocked by the Republicans. Johnson called the Democrats' bill a monstrosity. Therefore, the people on unemployment benefits, they're just left hanging. The White House, which is Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, they are acting as the negotiators between the Republicans and the Democrats. Mark Meadows, Chief of Staff, said this morning, just a few hours ago, that the White House offered 4 proposals to the Democrats to extend unemployment benefits and protections for eviction, but that Nancy Pelosi, Charles Schumer, and the Democrats, they've rejected those offers. Mark Meadows said that the proposals we made were not received warmly. One of the proposals was by Republican Senator Martha McSally to extend the unemployment benefits for just 1 more week as a temporary fix. The Democrats refuse because they said that the Republicans had months to take care of this. The Democrats are saying that the Republicans should have seen this coming, that the Democrats, that they're not going to budge, and that it's not the Democrats' fault. The Democrats, they're saying this because they tried to fix these problems 2.5 months ago with the HEROES Act. The Republicans, they say that the Democrats trying to spend $3 trillion with the HEROES Act is fiscally irresponsible. And I have to remind you that the Republicans, of course, they're against the $3 trillion of spending by the Democrats. The Republicans, half of them are even against the $1 trillion, that proposal that the Republican leader Mitch McConnell drafted up. But the negotiations are now even worse between the Republicans and Democrats because the Democrats, now they want to spend even more than $3 trillion, more than the original $3 trillion in the HEROES Act. For example, Mark Meadows, Chief of Staff, said that the Democrats, they originally wanted to spend $100 billion to help schools. So the Republicans, they agreed, and they even went a little bit above. The Republicans, they offered to spend $105 billion. So Democrats wanted $100 billion. Republicans said, okay, we'll spend $105 billion. But now the Democrats, they're saying that times have changed since 2.5 months ago, since the HEROES Act. So instead of wanting to spend $100 billion, Now they want to spend $400 billion on schools. This is all cited by Mark Meadows, Chief of Staff, the negotiator between the two groups. So the situation's pretty bad right now. The leader of the Republicans, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and the leader of the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, they're not even having face-to-face meetings. They offered to have conversations by phone. They said they are willing to talk by phone. But most of the communication in reality, it's conducted by the negotiating team, by Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and Mark Meadows. They're the bridge between the Republicans and the Democrats. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said that the Democrats are refusing short-term extensions and that the Democrats are trying to pressure the Republicans into going for the full, comprehensive HEROES Act for $3 trillion. It looks like each party is trying to teach the other party a lesson. All of these political games at the expense of the American people. Let's take a look at the COVID-19 news. Good news is that COVID-19 cases are plateauing. It would be nice to see the cases on a downward trajectory, but fortunately, at least the cases are not increasing. The United States reported 67,619 cases yesterday, according to Johns Hopkins University. Total cases since the start of all this in the United States is 4.5 million cases and 152,000 fatalities. Certain regions, states, or cities are doing better than others throughout the country. For example, in San Francisco, hospitalizations are at a record high. In New York, hospitalizations are at new lows. That's the news for today. Please subscribe, and I'll keep you updated. I'll save you some time, and I'll give you any advice whenever possible. Thank you so much, and please stay safe.